Hey, how you doing? If you clicked on this video, you most likely have knee pains. I myself had very bad knee pains, and I'm just gonna get straight into it. I'm gonna tell you what causes the knee pains, why it causes knee pains, and how you can fix it. So your knee pains can be caused by three different things: your genetics, your footwear, or your activity levels. So the genetics can play a few different roles. It can play a role in how your ankles tilt, if your feet are flat or arched, or make you more prone to diseases such as Osgood-Schlatter's disease. So Osgood-Schlatter's disease is very common among kids who are very active and younger, so around 12 to 14 years old. I myself had it in both knees and it is very painful. It is characterized by the lump you have just underneath your kneecap, and what that is just inflammation of that part of the knee. So the reason why that bit becomes inflamed is because it's attached to a tendon which runs past up your kneecap and connects to all the quads, and because the quads are pulling on it so much, which is caused by excessive activity, it's going to keep pulling on it and cause it to become inflamed. So also, if you are wearing improper shoes for your foot type, that can also cause knee pains. If you have a flat foot and you're wearing flat shoes, that's not going to help at all. So the shape of the shoe is very important, but so is the design just in general. Is it comfy? Is it stiff? What are you using the shoe for? There's no point using weightlifting shoes when you're going out for running, or there's no point wearing super comfortable shoes when you're doing weightlifting. It just doesn't match. So if you participate in too much activity without undergoing your rehab and such, you're gonna have knee problems. Also, if the sport you do or the activity you participate in has too much impact on your knees, that's also going to have a big problem on your knees, just because it's so repetitive or because of the high strain that it puts on your knees, your muscles, your tendons. So those three things that I just mentioned is what causes the knee pain. Now I'm going to talk about why and how it causes the knee pains. So again, there's another three things. There's the amount of impact on your knee, there's the twisting of the tibia, and there's too much tension on the tibial tuberosity. So the impact on the knee causes lots of stress and lots of strain. It's because when you land, your body's trying to absorb the impact, not through the spine, because that's where all your most important things are. So it's going to try and protect it by using your legs to absorb the impact. So when you land, you realize your knees must bend. When your knees bend, it's actually pulling on the quads, and your quads are trying to soften the fall. It's an eccentric contraction, which means it's contracting but while lengthening. So what this does is it pulls very hard on the tibial tuberosity, and that's what causes it to become inflamed and very stressed. And that's why most people have severe knee pains. So examples of high impact activities would be anything from sprinting, jumping, and landing from high places. So if you're doing parkour and that sort of stuff. So the tibia is the main part of the lower leg because it is connected to the femur through the tendons. So there is this one very particular tendon that connects from the femur to the tibia, and that is the patella tendon. A lot of knee pains are caused by the inflammation of the patella tendon, or also known as patella tendonitis. I also had that in both my knees. So if there's a twisting in the tibia, what that means is, well, we'll imagine this is the tibia and this is the femur. When it's twisted, it means it's not aligned properly, which means the tendon, instead of running in a direct straight line from one part to another, it's actually twisted in a little bit of a curve, which in turn lengthens it, so it pulls on it more. And if you're pulling on the tendon, you're also going to be pulling on the tuberosity, which is where the tendon attaches to, which causes more stress and more pain. So what causes the tibia to twist? Well, this could be flat feet, overpronation of the ankles, and the way you sit. So flat feet is a very common example of what creates that twist in the tibia. Also, if you have overpronation, which is very similar, but your feet aren't actually flat, it's your ankles which is tilting inwards, which I will show you on the screen now. Now pay attention to my tibia when I shift my ankle from dipping to normal. You can see that slight twist. In both my legs, this is what it'll look like. So this is dipped to normal. So because of the way the ankle is positioned, it will cause the tibia to twist. So you see, if I move my ankle from its normal position to what it's like without my orthotics, you will see my tibia twist ever so slightly, but it's that slight twist that causes most of the pain. And also your sitting position. If you sit with one leg over the other, or if you have one ankle resting on top of the knee, then that will also cause the tibia to twist so slightly, and that will also cause a lot of pain. I was actually recommended by my chiropractor to avoid that at all costs if I can. And another factor which contributes to tremendous knee pain is too much tension on the tibial tuberosity. And now this is caused ultimately by tight quads. So if your quads are really tight, it's going to be pulling on the tendon, your patellar tendon, which pulls on the tibial tuberosity where it is attached. So of course it's going to become painful. Now I had a very severe case of this, to the point where my tibial tuberosity actually cracked and started lifting up because of the amount of tension I was putting onto it. My chiropractor said that if I put any more excessive pressure, I ran the risk of having it snap off. So this can be caused by excessive exercise and a high load of weight while exercising the range of motion of the knee. Now, you may be worried because there's so many things which contribute to knee pains, and you may be wondering, how do I fix all of this? Well, the thing is, you most likely do not have all these knee problems. So, if your problem is related to your ankles or your feet, I recommend getting orthotics or looking into shoes which suit your feet. So my ankle overpronates, and because of that I needed custom orthotics. I had normal orthotics for a while, but it wasn't really doing the job, so I got custom ones instead. Also, I got a new pair of shoes which I will show on the screen. Now these pair of shoes are great, they're wonderful, they're just amazing for everything I need. I like to do lots of jogging and running, so I need a shoe which has a lot of cushioning to stop the impact on my knee. Having that extra cushion, I can run and pretty much my shoe will take the stress as opposed to my knee. Now don't get me wrong, having a cushiony pair of shoes will not fix your knee problems. This will just help a little bit. You must combine a good pair of shoes with proper ankle support alongside with your rehab and everything else to help with your knees. Now the biggest thing that I can recommend for your knee pains is a piece of advice that I was also given by my chiropractor, my physios, etc. But this was advice that I did not take because I was young and silly. All I wanted to do was run, squat, jump, do all that sort of stuff. They just told me, take time off. Do not squat, do not run, do not jump. Just let my knees rest. And while they are resting, I should use that time to do rehabilitation. So that would be foam rolling and knee strengthening exercises. For me, foam rolling has worked magic. Like, I cannot even put it into words how much foam rolling helped. So if you would like a foam rolling tutorial, just drop a comment down in the comment section and I'll make a video of my full foam rolling routine. When I started, I was told that I should stretch, but I realized the more stretching I did, the more it hurt my knee. And it makes sense because when you stretch, what you're doing is you're putting tension on the muscle. And if you put tension on the muscle, like I mentioned earlier, the tension is going to transfer from the muscle to the tendon back to the tibial tuberosity. So by stretching, you're actually yanking on the tibial tuberosity. And that's why I really like foam rolling, because foam rolling is a way where you can lengthen your muscles. You can essentially stretch them without actually stretching them. You're loosening them. The one takeaway from this video would be foam rolling, and foam roll a lot. Even myself now, I foam roll 3-4 times a day, in the morning, at night, before and after physical activity. So for knee strengthening exercises, I would do things like box squats, various exercises which involve resistance bands, because you're not using your entire body weight, it's just a small amount of weight to get your knee used to that range of motion and the stress at the same time. Another thing that I really love is active rest. Every day I try to walk, but not for too long, just maybe for 20 minutes. I will walk for 20 minutes on the treadmill, and what that's gonna do is get the blood flowing through my legs, which essentially is gonna run past my knee and help with the recovery. Now, another thing you can use to help, what I've heard that can help, is icing your knee. Now for me, I didn't have very good experiences with icing my knee. My knee always seemed to hurt after icing. But one of my friends who had the same knee problems as I did loves icing his knee, and he said it works fine for him. So try it out, see what happens. If it hurts, just don't do it. Another good tip is, I would say, strengthen your hamstrings. So knee problems are caused predominantly by the quads. So if you have weak hamstrings and if you're participating in an exercise that requires hamstrings, your body might try and incorporate the quads more to try and compensate for that weakness. So if you want to help with your knee pains, I would exercise your hamstrings so that when you actually do need to use them, your body's not going to rely on the quads for the extra strength. Essentially, it's just going to take the stress off the quads. Okay, so that's it for how to help your knee problems. I really hope this helps because it really has helped me. I have had severe knee injuries when I was younger, so ever since I was 12, I had Osgood slatters in both knees, I had patellar tendonitis in both knees, and in both knees, my tibial tuberosity did crack, or it fractured, and I ran the risk of having the bone actually crack, like snap, and yeah. It's horrible. So the biggest thing is stay consistent with it. If you're consistent with it, time heals all things. But you must combine your time with your rehab, with your time off. Just combine everything in this video that I have taught you, mash it together and apply it to your life. And yeah, I'd be very happy to hear that it helped. So yeah, let me know what you think of my tips, if I missed out anything, if I got something wrong, and I'll be sure to address it in the next video. Also, if I left out something and you want to know more information about it, just comment down below and I will reply to it as fast as I can. So that's it, this is the end of the video. I hope it helps and I wish you all the best in your road to recovery.